go.
Hi, this is Stephen Bourne with the Rise Civic League. All right, I'm standing in a field, and you should be careful because the end of July, they found a mosquito with James Canyon virus was detected. So there's a press release and link to that. The mosquito, the end of August, they did spray the fields for the schools, but keep the grass short, no standing water, good practices everyone should know about. There's a little bit of green in this field behind me. But we do, if you notice the signs out, we've got water restrictions. So Aquarian and Portsmouth, every other day watering, please conserve and do that. There's a drought across the state, been going on for a month. The Parsons Creek watershed, the watershed maintenance plan was finally completed and presented to the select board. The select board is approved a committee to take the implementation actions. Personally, I may write something about it because I don't agree with some of the things. I can't be on it. I'm probably one of the more read people on the Parsons Creek watershed, but if anyone wants to come and help the Civic League out, maybe that would free up some of my time. So also the the E. coli fecal contamination had a number of closes in Wallace Sands Extension. Cable Road has actually been had those posted from the 22nd through the 30th, and not sure when that's going to be. It's quite a while to have that, so something's going on there. We promoted this last time in the video, but the Rye Historical Society's 20th Century exhibit is now open. There's a poster. It is worth seeing, so don't miss that. Also speaking of Aquarian, they presented to the select board. They believe Unitil is interested in purchasing them, so that's good news for you in Genesee Beach and Rye Beach Village District. Town Center, 59 residents showed up at the last select board meeting. They'd like some more speed limit signs in the center of town, something to try to slow it down. We know the TAP grant's coming, but that's a long way away. They're asking to put up some more speed signs there. Also, ADU, accessory dwelling units, detached dwelling units. Those laws changed in July 15th, signed by the governor. So you no longer have to get any kind of planning board approval, zoning board approval. As long as you stick with what the rules are for a regular house, you can add an ADU now. The library, as you know, Andy Richmond retired. They've got an interim director, but the hours are reduced. It's now closed at 6. In evenings, we have those links there. The beach committee reporting, they would like us to, we've got the porta potties, we added the handicap, that's great, but they'd like us to start to do a better job of keeping those porta potties a lot cleaner. So that's a goal. In general announcements, real quickly, the town picnic's coming up. Rye Rec is doing some travel for seniors, so you can go learn about that. There's a flyer on Pulpit Rock Tower is going to be open in September. You should see it. And then in March, we're going to have 3 open positions for the select board. It's moving to 5. There's going to be 5 open positions. On the 25th at the junior high cafeteria, we are going to have a fireside chat with the current select board chair. Just going to talk, what's it like to serve? So if you have interest, there's going to be a series of those. So that's the 25th at 7 p.m. at the junior high. Now, do you have any idea the history that's gone here? What do you think happened? Stick around and Alex is going to tell you all about it.
Good afternoon, everybody. Alex Hurley here doing the history video for the September Civic News. We're standing in an iconic field in Rye. It's at 433 Central. You may have seen their for sale signs. But this field, like many of the fields in Rye, which make the beauty of this town, we can't take them for granted, can we? Now, before we talk about the history of this field, we just want to take note of 2 fields that I know everybody appreciates. The first one, of course, is around the corner, the Filbert fields on both sides of the road. You see them hang on one side, but those fields go all the way over to Grove Road. So you have to be on 2 roads to see them all. And they took advantage of, and the town passed the open space bond, so there's a conservation easement there. They sold the development rights, so that benefits the landowner, but it's not the top dollar that you would get selling to a developer. So it's a wonderful compromise in which everybody benefits. The town keeping the open space. We all love forest, But what makes the beauty of any community is the combination of field and forest. Otherwise, if it's just forest, it's kind of closed in. So these are traditional fields that were hayed in the past. What we know about this field is pretty interesting because it relates to the New Hampshire National Guard. Rye was chosen to be the 2-week training ground for the New Hampshire National Guard after World War I. And they had their huge camp with tents over at where Rand Spring is, on Fielding, where Fielding Way is now, off Cable Road. And then they would march up here and do their training. This was an artillery unit. And so to actually train, they had to go down to Ragged Neck and fire their artillery shells at dummy planes being pulled by live planes. That must have been an interesting sight. So they were here. It was called Camp Winant after the popular New Hampshire governor at the time, John Winant, who went on to work, a Republican working for the New Deal Democrats, which is a nice thing to hear in this day and age. And he actually was so successful, he oversaw the origin of the Social Security system, and he ended up being appointed ambassador to Great Britain when they needed us desperately to have a good ambassador. And he replaced Kennedy and was instrumental in getting support for Britain during the Battle of Britain. And he was beloved over there. King even went down to meet him at the station. So this field, for better part of 20 years, was the site of the New Hampshire National Guard training. So hundreds of these National Guard soldiers came from all over New Hampshire, and they thought they were going to expand the facility here, but after World War II, they made the decision that all of the Northeast National Guards people would now have their training at Camp Drum in upstate New York. So that ended our connection to the New Hampshire National Guard. But here's hoping there's a good outcome on this field. And Roger Philbrick and I have been talking about these fields. Another beautiful one on Washington Road. But as you drive around, don't take them for granted. Let's hope that they can remain protected forever. Thank you.